Hello everyone, I am Dr. Garima Srivastava from Lal Bahadur Shastri College, Lucknow. I am going to take up the topic foreign exchange determination system. So, when we talk about export and import and we talk about product and services in different countries, we also need to check into the exchange rate system, because when we move out of the national borders, our currency is going to change. Suppose we are dealing in rupee when we are dealing in India, when we are selling our product and services in India, we deal with rupee. But suppose we are moving to some other country, then we need to take into the consideration the currency that country is taking up, the currency that is running in that country. So, for that purpose we need to check into the exchange rate. Now, what is exchange rate? Exchange rate or a foreign exchange rate is a rate at which one currency is exchanged for another. That means, for how much rupees $1 is converted is used, or for how much rupees £1 is there. So, this is a requirement that is to be taken up while we move out from one country to the another. Thus, an exchange rate can be regarded as a price of one currency in terms of another. An exchange rate is a ratio between two monies or two currencies. If 5 UK pounds or 5 US dollars buy Indian goods worth rupees 400 and 250 rupees, then pound rupee or dollar rupee exchange rate becomes 80 rupee for $1, 1 pound, and 50 rupee for $1 respectively. Now, of course, here we can see exchange rate is usually quoted in terms of rupee per unit of foreign currencies. Thus, an exchange rate indicates external purchasing power of the money. So, it is very important to understand what is the exchange rate of the currency of that country with respect to the currency of the home country. Now, foreign exchange market is also somewhat related over here. When we talk about foreign exchange market, it is not similar to domestic market. In domestic market, we deal in product and services. That means, we go out in the market, we buy or sell the product or services. But when we talk about foreign exchange market, here the selling and buying of foreign exchange, that means different currencies is taking place. It is not done in the similar kind as in a domestic market. It is a kind of system. That means, we need to do it under a system of or set up system by different banks. Central bank and RBI are involved in the foreign exchange market. So, a fall in the external purchasing power or external value of rupee, that means a fall in the exchange rate, say rupees 80 per pound is now rupees 90 per pound. It means there is a depreciation in the Indian rupee. That means, earlier we were giving 80 rupees for 1 pound, now we have to give 90 rupees for 1 pound. Consequently, an appreciation of Indian rupee occurs when there is an increase in the exchange rate for the existing level. For example, suppose it is 78 rupees for 1 pound, earlier it was 80 rupees for 1 pound. That means, now we have to give lesser money in terms of rupee in exchange of that 1 pound. In other words, the external value of rupee rises. This indicates strengthening of the Indian rupee. That means, appreciation and depreciation also depends on the rates of foreign exchange in the market. Conversely, the weakening of Indian rupee occurs if external value of rupee in terms of pound falls. Now, coming down to the foreign exchange rate determination system. Now, we need to understand how the foreign exchange rate is determined, because it is directly related to the buying and selling of our product in the international market. So, there were basically two methods to determine the foreign exchange rate. One method falls under the classical gold standard mechanism and the another method falls under the paper currency system. Now, gold standard method today does not operate, because standard monetary unit is now changed from gold to currency. That means, now we do not exchange anything for gold, we also buy gold by currency. So, nowadays currency is the basic standard for exchanging of good or services in the market. So, all countries now have paper currencies not convertible to gold. That means you will never be able to convert your paper currency into gold. You can buy gold with your paper currency. So, under unconvertible paper currency system, we consider demand and supply approach to foreign exchange rate determination. Now, how we are going to determine the foreign exchange rate? Now, to understand that, we need to understand what is the demand and supply of foreign exchange in the market. So, when we look into the market, whatever appears on the debit side of the balance of payment account are the sources of demand for the foreign exchange. That means, when we need to see into the debit side to see into the demand of the demand of the foreign exchange in the market. So, larger the volume of imports, that means you are taking your products are coming, more and more products are imported into the country. So, greater will be the demand. Now, how will this demand increase? Because maybe the price of the foreign exchange has reduced. So, it has reduced so much that the people are now willing to buy that product. That means it is more and more in demand. So, we need to understand that the demand curve for a foreign exchange is always a negative slope. You can see into the picture, that is D1. This is a demand curve. On the other hand, we have the supply curve, that is always in a positive side, that is S1. Now, to understand the determination of foreign exchange, wherever the demand curve and supply curve intersect, this point of equilibrium, that is E point, it will be taken up as the price for the foreign exchange. That means, rate of foreign exchange is this E point at which demand curve and the supply curve will intersect. So, a fall in the price of foreign exchange or fall in the price of dollar in terms of rupee, that is dollar depreciates, means that foreign goods are no more now more cheaper. That means, if dollar depreciates, the price of dollar decreases. That means, whatever foreign goods are being imported into the country, now they become cheaper. So, of course, if the goods become cheaper, the people will be willing to buy the product. Thus, an Indian could buy more American goods at a low price. Consequently, imports from USA would increase. So, more and more buying will be there. So, more and more imports will be there. So, now if more and more imports will be there, that means your foreign currency, your foreign exchange will increase. So, if more and more money will be coming into your country, your rupee will appreciate, resulting in the increase in the demand of foreign exchange, that is dollar. Conversely, if we take a situation in the opposite direction. So, if the price of foreign exchange or the price of the dollar rises, suppose the price of dollar rises as compared to the rupee, that means the dollar appreciates. That means, foreign goods will now become expensive. So, if they will become expensive, the people will be less willing to buy the product. Why? Because they will be needing to pay more to buy that particular product or services. But in comparison, if we look into the domestic market, maybe in the domestic market the product, some kind of product is already there at a lower price, same kind of product is there. So, people will go for that substitute or similar kind of product in the domestic market, which has a lower price as compared to that expensive product from the foreign market. So, the import demand will decrease. Thus, the importing country's demand curve for the foreign exchange is downward sloping from left to right. Now, we talk about the supply of foreign exchange. Supply of foreign currency comes from the receipts for its exports. This happens if the foreign nationals or firms intend to purchase Indian goods or buy Indian assets or give grants to the government of India, and the supply of foreign exchange is generated. That means, when there is a supply of foreign exchange, that means people are willing to buy things from your country, home country, people are willing to invest in your country, they are willing to give grants grants, the different countries are willing to give grants to your government. That means a supply of foreign exchange or supply of foreign currency will be there in your country. All these transactions, they appear on the credit side of the balance of payment accounts and are the sources of supply for the foreign exchange. So, as compared, demands were on the debit side of balance of payments, but the supplies are on the credit side of the balance of payment. Now, we see how it actually happens. A rise in the rupee per dollar exchange rate means Indian goods are cheaper for foreigners in terms of dollars. So, if rupee per dollar exchange rate rises, that means the Indian goods are cheaper. That means the rupee is at a lower value as compared to the dollar. This will induce India to export more. That means people in foreign countries, people in that international country where we are willing to supply our product, we are willing to export our product, they will be willing to buy the Indian product. That means it will increase, it will induce more and more exports from India to that particular country. Thus, a high price or exchange rate ensures larger supply of foreign exchange. Conversely, a low exchange rate causes exchange rate to fall. Thus, a supply curve for foreign currency exchange SS1 is a positive sloping curve. So, for a demand curve, as it was a negative sloping curve because it was starting from left to right. So, similarly, we have a supply curve which is always positively sloping. Now, here one point is needed to be considered. See, in this figure where D1 denotes demand and S1 denotes supply. Here intersecting point E is the equilibrium at which the foreign exchange rate is determined. Now, we need to find out this particular E point only if the demand increases or decreases, if the supply increases or decreases, we need to come to this E point so as to determine the foreign exchange rate. Now, we will be considering the different situations of increase and decrease of demand or increase or decrease of supply in the foreign market. So, the equilibrium exchange rate is determined at that point where the demand for foreign exchange equals the supply of foreign exchange, that means the intersecting point. So, in the figure we have already seen D1 and SS1 curves intersect at a point E, the foreign exchange rate thus determined is OP. At this rate, quantities of foreign exchange demand OM is equal to the quantity supplied OM. So, the market is cleared and then there is no incentive on the part of the players to change the rate determined. That means, if you get this particular point in the demand curve or the supply curve, then there is no need of any of the external players to change the rate determined. But suppose there is this equilibrium is not obtained. Suppose there is increase in demand or suppose there is increase in supply. So, this equilibrium will not be obtained. So, in that case some external players such as banks, such as institutions, financial institutions will come in and play their role so that this equilibrium is managed. Note that at the rate OP, say rupees 50 per dollar, demand for foreign exchange is matched by supply of foreign exchange. So, now if the current exchange rate OP exceeds the equilibrium rate of exchange OP, there occurs an excess supply of dollar by an amount AB. Now, the bank and other suppose there is more and more supply of exchange rate. So, there will be supply of dollar by amount AB. So, the bank and other financial institutions dealing in the foreign exchange wishing to make money by exchanging currency would lower the exchange rate to reduce the excess supply. So, this supply will be somewhat determined by the banks or financial institutions. Thus, exchange rate will tend to fall until OP is reached. So, it will fall until we reach the equilibrium point. Now, we have already discussed this equilibrium point is an important point. So, whenever the supply is more, that means the supply curve moves to the righter side or it shifts to the right side. So, in that case we will not be able to get that particular equilibrium point. So, for that equilibrium point, banks and other institutions will come into and play their role. So, when we talk about if the exchange rate falls below OP, that is OP, banks would then experience a shortage of dollar to meet the demand. The rate of foreign exchange will rise till the demand equals the supply. Now, we need to get that equilibrium point. So, we will see into the point where the demand reaches the supply. The exchange rate that we have determined is called as floating or flexible exchange rate. That means, at this point it is a flexible rate which will be changed or which will be governed by the banks, so that it reaches an equilibrium point. Under this exchange rate system, the government does not intervene in the foreign exchange market. The floating exchange rate, by definition, we can see it results in an equilibrium rate for exchange that will move up and down according to a change in demand and supply of forces. The process by which currencies float up and down following a change in demand or change in supply forces is thus illustrated in the figure. See here, see if the demand decreases from increases from D1 to D2. Now, of course, what will happen? The prices will also increase from P2 to P1. So, we will be having another equilibrium, that is E1. Now, to come back to the particular point, particular E point, equilibrium point, the banks will induce certain kind of policies or rules, so that it will decrease or increase the rate of foreign exchange. Now, let us assume that the national income rises. This results in the increase in demand for imports of goods and services, and hence the demand of dollar rises. So, when we move, this results in shift in the demand curve from D1 to D2. See, if it moves, if the prices of the dollar increases, that the prices of P2 increases to P1. So, of course, if the demand D1 increases to D2, the prices also increases from P2 to P1. Consequently, if we see inversely, exchange rate rises as determined by the intersection of new demand curve and supply curve. Now, so of course, with a new supply curve, we will also be having another demand curve, so as to again maintain that equilibrium. Note that the dollar appreciates with rupee, dollar appreciates while rupee depreciates. That means, both move in the opposite direction. That means, if dollar will appreciate, the rupee will depreciate, or if rupee will appreciate, the dollar will depreciate. Similarly, if the supply curve shifts from SS1 to SS2 as shown in the figure, the new exchange rate thus determined would be OOP2. If national goods are exported more following an increase in the national income of the USA, the supply curve would then be shifting the rightward side. Similarly, now if we see that if more and more exports are being done in USA, the supply curve will move to the right side. That means, we are supplying more in the international market. Consequently, what will happen? We will be sweeping more money from USA. That means, your dollar will depreciate and rupee will appreciate. That is why the countries concentrate in exporting more goods and importing lesser goods into the country. So, new exchange rate is settled at that point where new supply curve SS2 intersects the demand curve at E2. This is the balance of payment theory of exchange rate determination. Wherever the government does not intervene in the market, a floating or flexible exchange rate prevails. So, we get a floating or flexible exchange rate if the government does not intervene. Government means your banks and financial institutions and the government itself. Such a system may not necessarily be ideal, since frequent changes in the demand and supply forces causes frequent as well as violent changes in the exchange rate. So, continuously changing the frequency, continuously changing the exchange rate will not be favorable for either of the country which is exporting or importing. So, for that purpose a central government, a central framework of laws or rules should be there which maintains this equilibrium at a point, so that a standard foreign exchange rate is maintained all over the world. So, why is this so? Because different currencies will be exchanged in different units or different rates in different countries. So, for India it may be 88 rupees per dollar, for Canada it may be $28, 28 pounds for $1. So, to maintain that equilibrium, this central kind of network should be there. So, consequently, we can say that such a system may not necessarily be ideal, since frequent changes in the demand and supply forces cause frequent as well as violent changes in the exchange rate. So, an air of uncertainty in trade and business would prevail. So, this is a demand curve, this is a curve for seeing the change in equilibrium exchange rate following the change in supply. So, if the supply changes, so if the supply increases from SS1 to SS2, so the equilibrium also shifts from E to E2, and prices, what happens to the prices? The prices also decreases. That means that dollar decreases, because see on the y axis we have exchange rate rupee per dollar. So, it moves from P to P to P2, that means dollar depreciates. Now, if we see into the supply curve, so here we have D1 curve and D2 curve. So, both, if we see the increase in demand and increase and decrease in demand in the domestic market. Now, both the curves are important. Now, demand and supply of foreign exchange will be governed by this particular central system or network or government intervened system, which will fix the equilibrium point for the demand and supply of the foreign exchange. So, here we need to understand why this demand and supply of foreign exchange increases or decreases. All this happens because more and more investors are willing to invest in your country, or more and more investors are willing to invest in their own country. This will happen through this particular process only. So, when we see the supply of foreign currencies, we will see the receipts from its exports. So, supply will come from exports and demand will come from imports. So, if we see into the supply, we will see that if supply of foreign currency is more, that means more and more exports from the country is there. So, more and more currency from the other country will be coming into your own country. Now, if more currency will be coming into your country, that means you will be having more power in terms of foreign currency. Why do you require this foreign currency? Because for buying and selling of these foreign goods, imported goods, we require foreign currency. So, to buy these goods, foreign goods in the domestic market, we will require more and more foreign currency. So, the demand of the foreign currency will increase. Once the demand of the foreign currency will increase in the domestic market, what will happen? The demand in the foreign currency, foreign exchange will increase. So, the dollar will depreciate. That means the foreign goods are now no more expensive, they are more cheaper. Now, so if they are cheaper, the people will be willing to buy the product, the people will increase, there will be an increased demand of that particular product or service in the domestic market. Now, this is why we need to check on the prices of the product. Now, pricing can also be determined by the governments also, this central network. How they can determine the prices of different products? By implying different kinds of taxations, by implying different kinds of subsidies on these particular products. So, if we levy taxes on the products, they tend to become more expensive when they reach into the national borders. That is why people, that is why company, when they go for import or export, they visualize what they are going to do in that particular country, whether they are going to export it directly or they are going to set up a subsidiary in that particular country, or they are going to set up a manufacturing unit in that particular country. So, when you will be doing all these three or taking up any of these three tasks, the cost of your product will automatically be fluctuating from highest to the lowest. So, if there will be lesser taxation system, if there will be less taxes applied on your product, so it will reach to the market at a lesser price. Then only the demand of the product will increase. So, while looking into the demand, when we see when it moves from DD1 to DD2, that means it is increasing. Now, if the demand of the product increases, now demand of the foreign exchange increases, that means more people are willing to buy the product of the foreign market. That means it will create a threat to the domestic market. So, when once again we will see the SS2 supply curve, where we have SS1 curve and SS2 curve. So, if the supply of the product increases, if the supply of the foreign exchange increases, what happens? Supply of foreign exchange means supply of foreign exchange in the domestic market. That means you are getting more money from the outside market into your own market. So, the Indian economy or the country where which is exporting, it is continuously growing in the economy. So, overall we can see we need to check into the foreign exchange determination rate when we move out of the country, because we are going to deal in the currency of the home country as well as the currency of the host country. Thank you.